I need her. She has what I don't have.
Money. So this is Tom's parents, and don't be surprised about what happened here.
I went to a baseball game and came home and went to some guys and went to the baseball game, came home. Ladies, what did my wife ask me when I walked in the door? What did you talk about? And guys, what did you feel like when she said that? It's like, talk? Did I say something tonight? I can't remember.
I love how quickly that guy's little smirk went. The woman next to him is just like, no.
It's like, talk? Did I say something tonight? I can't remember. Guys relate by doing, not talking. So there's a difference of how we operate. We need to understand that we have different languages.
I told you, ladies, we don't ask for consent. We just do. We sexually assault, okay? You need to listen to the man. You need to listen to the man.
And so understand this, a man must have respect, and a woman must have love if you're going to be healthy emotionally and have a healthy marriage. So a woman or your wife begins to complain and criticize. Now, that may have happened to a couple of you, but...
Now, would we ever do that?
But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so her husband, ladies, listen, your husband is going to interpret that as contempt, as she does not respect me as a person. He will get up and walk away. Now, let me help you understand that, because we'll get back here in a minute. But in a man's world, if you escalate conflict, the man has a choice. Either he's going to engage the conflict, which will escalate to fist fighting, or it just escalates, or he will back out. And so in the world of men, honor, men will back out of a conflict situation that he does not want it to escalate. And so we need to understand how men handle that kind of thing. She will get louder and louder and repeat the same things over and over, and then begin to say things she doesn't mean to get your attention. All right? She is crying out for love. Now, one study found that women's heart rate stays slow and steady during this conflict. Men's heart rate, however, goes up rapidly because they view it as conflict, whereas she does not. She is engaging the relationship to fix the relationship, all right? Now, women, the large majority of men feel that you are against them when this happens, and that they never can get it right, and that they can never be good enough. When husbands were asked, does your wife love you? They said, yes, but she doesn't like me. This is true. The majority of men felt that way. Most men would rather hear that I respect you than I love you. A study of 400 men were asked, if you were forced to choose one of the following, which would you choose to endure? To be left alone and unloved, or to feel inadequate and disrespected? 74% said they prefer to be unloved. Now, they also said they prefer to live with a wife who did not love them but respected them, rather than a wife who loved them but did not respect them. Wow, that's huge. A study of marriage relationships stated that in an argument, 81% of the men withdraw and feel disrespected. Men are made for honor. Let's understand men. Men are made for honor. They'll lay their life down on the battleground. They'll defend their family. They live in a world of honor, and this is the world they think and they live in. Studies show that 85% of men will get quiet during conflict, which a wife cannot understand, right, ladies? Because it interpreted says, I do not love you. Right, ladies? That's right.
We want you to engage and talk to us. So to walk away says you don't love me, but it's truly your way of not engaging a fight.
Well, it's the wrong way in this relationship,
right.
All right?
I
We need
agree.
to talk about that later. A shocking statement, ladies, is your marriage cannot survive on love alone. You don't find any greeting cards in the stores talking about respecting the husband, because women write the greeting cards, they buy the greeting cards, and they think that they're writing from their filter when they write the greeting cards, and so they miss it, all right? Most women think it is their love that won their man, but that is not true. Little boys show off for little girls, not for love, but for admiration. Little boys become big boys, same difference. Men, seriously, men, they want your admiration, all right? They want your admiration. Your admiration is what won your husband, not your love. Why do men not like marriage conferences? Because it's all about love, and they fail at that, and it's not about respect, and so men don't want to be drugged to a marriage conference to learn how bad they're doing. The more respect you show, ladies, the closer he'll get. Men, the more love you show to your wife, the closer she gets. And so you can do an experiment. You go home this week. You can, if your husband's walking through the house, you can just say, hey, I really respect you. You'll find he'll stop and he will say, what did you say? And then he'll get closer. And if you continue on, he'll actually probably stop what he's doing and actually probably come closer to you. The same applies to the ladies. If you say, you know, how much you love her, and she'll stop. Drenda always does. If I say I love you, she'll say, what did you say? I know she can quote everything I said. She just wants to hear it again.
Right, and I want him to go into detail. Tell me all the ways in which you love me, right? Shakespeare had it right. How do I love you? Let me count the ways.
She wants all the adjectives.
Just lie to me to keep this relationship going. Was this not awful? So, as awful as this is, as we're listening, I just wanted to get some excerpts, but it's not even that long. The whole thing is like 14 minutes, right? This is very problematic, like all over the place. It's like personality disorder, everything. She's enabling it, and he needs to go see a therapist and all kinds of crap. All the men that are agreeing with this need to go see a therapist. But at the end of this, you guys, there's actually children involved with these two people. Take in what the dude is saying, and he doesn't have love. He just doesn't. He's like, all I care about is you say you respect me. You put some respect to my name. You respect. I don't give a shit about love. I'm going to tell you I love you because I know that's what you want to hear, and I want to manipulate you, but I don't actually feel it. You respect me enough to be seen in public with me, okay, lady? And you respect me enough to let me tell you what to do. She's like, yes. Okay. But imagine, these are your parents. Daddy don't love you, okay? My parents are a cluster F of just ridiculousness. And I'm laughing, but it's actually horrible. Like this family life, you could kind of tell. So sit with these two people and imagine them having kids and what they're teaching their children and where they ignore their children. And he's off on his male supremacist tangent. You know, this is how us men are versus all of us men need to go see a head doctor because we're disordered humans because of childhood. And we keep teaching our sons that, you know, love is not a big deal. Okay. So this is a learned behavior, by the way, guys, all of this. And he's just repeating it. So it's horrifying. And then you see the outcome, right? So the outcome is the truth of the matter, okay? So that's the truth of the matter. That's what comes out of a home like that. There's a lot in this, but it's pretty obvious of what happened here. And that son is a you-know-what, just like daddy. And mom is a ding-dong, right? Like, she doesn't seem like this, like, horrible human, right? It's like, if you were in a room with this lady, you'd probably go, she's a nice lady, right? Like, you might probably say that. She reminds me of the mom that I knew a long time ago, where I was like, yeah, she's really nice, right? But you hear her talking, right? She's like, you know, we have to do these things for men. You know, like, I don't know, but, and this is where things go hella wrong. They go really wrong. It's really wrong here. And then she enables men, right? You see, she enables men. She doesn't enable women. She enables men. And so these boys come out big time narcissists, like big time. And you hear him just talking about the traits. He's like, you know, I got the traits of this. I got the traits of that. My ego's out of control. And then I get violent. And doesn't it scare you that he's even talking this way? Because he goes, I don't want to talk with her because I'm trying to defuse the situation because I'm going to get violent, basically. He's going to start throwing chairs and beating up women and whatnot. Well, that's a problem. You shouldn't even be getting to that point. And it's not true that our blood pressure doesn't go up the minute you start talking over us, okay? So, no, it goes from 0 to 1,000 when you don't shut the F up. It's like, but that's that thing. It's not true that they don't talk. I don't know what bullshit he got on. They're the biggest chronic, they will not shut up. Like, I could be in a room, they will not shut up, and they do not listen to women, so they just talk over us, right? But he's making up stuff. Yeah, so they talk over us, and they're trying to say that we're like totally different or something. I go, the way they should have presented this is that I can't even say this woman's healthy because she's not, but I'm gonna say she's more healthy than that dude. But they both need some help here. But they're different in the sense that she has a different problem than he does. So his problem is extraordinarily serious, and so is hers, but in different ways, right? They both have different mental health issues, right? So I was like, yeah, man, that combo right there is poison. Poison growing up, having children in this environment right here. So, and daddy chronically talks about money, and he gets her to, I guess she does the budgeting or something. I don't know, but he is really bad with money, and he chronically talks about money. That's his whole like crusade. Finances. Not even just like asking for money. He's just talking about money. Like, we saved money doing this thing. And then I was really bad with money. And I had like about 10 million credit cards and I totally maxed them out. And then my daddy gave me money and I could tell he loved me. That is the craziest thing. It's so superficial. It's so on the surface, kiddie pool, shallow, and that's what he equated to love. And I talked about they're manipulators. Like, he doesn't love anybody. He doesn't even know what the hell love is. He's being shown affection by begging daddy for money. And then daddy gives him money. And he's like, I'm loved because he gave me $4,000. I was like, oh no. But this makes sense though, because this is how government controls us with finances, right? With money. And how they cut kids off because if they don't comply, so that's their power and control thing. So his dad, it gave us insight into his dad. So his dad is an abuser, and then he's an abuser, and now his son is an abuser. Wonderful family! Yay! Yay, guys! Man, you suck. He pulls out the most male supremacist quote from the Bible. There was actually a bunch, and this is one of them. So it says, however, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself. But as you heard him, that you don't love anybody. It's like a narcissist quote. It's like, how much do you love yourself? Well, I don't really love myself. I just need to be seen as a hero. That's all that matters. Okay, because nobody loves me. My dad doesn't love me. We fail at love. But then it says this, and the wife must respect her husband. Nothing about the wife must love her husband. She must respect her husband. And then this goes into the history of human trafficking and all this stuff, anti-agency stuff. Yeah. So this is really bad. And he breaks it down that love and respect are two different things. So this was awful. I was just like, oh God. I was like, I cannot deal with this family. But what is it teaching your sons, right? You're saying you don't have to respect your wife. There's an expectation. She must respect you. So as a kid, you're teaching a young boy this, okay? Just get it in your mind. You're teaching a young boy this, that you're like this like all-powerful hero and women must respect you. So you can run around, like the crazy cock in the barn and just go up to him and go, hey, I want to do some things with you. And it's like, you must respect me. And then they get mad, right? If you don't. And they get violent. And then we have femicide, right? We seen this. And so the minute that I say something critical about them, because they see anything critical as disrespect, they turn into, a gangbanger. Basically, because that's the mentality of them at its lowest, denominator. I mean, that's the level of them. Okay. And, yeah, he's breaking it down, but it's so Neanderthal, right? But it is a learned behavior. It's like well, on top of it, they're promoting it. So it's not like just from neglect. It's like there is a neglect there. I mean, even if it was steered that way, if you didn't like get your kid proper, but no, it's technically being taught. And so it's being taught, and then they come out a pile of you know what, and then we end up in junior high with all of them touching us. And them disrespecting us and telling us how to dress, right? And then it's a disrespect if we tell them that's wrong, right? And then they run around crying like a baby going, cancel culture. Yeah, okay, so that's this thing right here. But that's actually a personality disorder. So they need to be clinically diagnosed properly. And this would definitely fall in line with the narcissist portion of things. And they're void. Completely void. But I wanted to tail off on this because I almost forgot. But yeah, that's one of the quotes that I'm like, it should be lit on fire in the Bible. And how is this being okay to be promoted by the government when it's on an entire gender? This is a hate crime. And it's terrible that it's actually being groomed into kids, because it's groomed into not only boys, but also girls, because it's telling girls, you need to do as men tell you, so we could lure and trap you into a sex crime, whatever it is, right? So this is really bad. So these things are going to be in all their, families and things like that. So some people may not understand like why it's happening. So I'm looking at the causation, and these are some of the things that we're pulling out. And yeah, so this would definitely be. So it would also be in how they do not express love with their children, and then their children are depressed, and then their children will go and shoot up a school. Like this is all combined in these issues, and I'm trying to pull them out, and they want to hold on it. They want to hold on it for dear life, right? So they don't even care. They want the world to burn. They're going to stick with this. They won't get rid of their guns, but one of the things they need to get rid of is this right here. This thing right here. Like, if you start running off like this, you need to give them a mental health pamphlet and send them to the nearest clinic.